Having a good lender is everything in a real estate transaction. It can really make or break the deal. So I'm rolling up on some of my favorite lenders, answering some of my buyers' questions and getting the info. Let's do it! Hey guys, so today I'm here with Miss Candy, and she is an amazing mortgage professional. And today we are going to talk to her about how much you can get approved for when you're getting ready to buy a house, affordability and DTI. These are some amazingly important facts that every buyer needs to know if you're getting a loan.
Yes.
So,
thank you. Thanks so much for having me today. So I'm really excited. I get questions all the time about what does it take to get pre-approved. Credit is an important factor, but DTI is really, really important and something that people don't consider a lot of times. So really, first, I want to talk about how do you calculate your DTI. So your DTI is your monthly debt, all of your debts, over your gross monthly income. And so that percentage is going to tell you what your debt to income is. Why is this important? Because it helps us as a lender determine what your capacity is. So how much can you play with when it comes to paying back your debt? And so that's very important for us to focus on and understand when we tell you how much you're going to be pre-approved for.
Right.
So this number, sometimes people will be caught off guard. They might not be in that price range that they wanted to be because their DTI was a little high. And so that might put you in a different price bracket or keep you from getting pre-approved at all if your DTI is too high. So it's very important to be mindful of it, even if you're not on the market for a home, because you just want to be financially responsible. So yes, your DTI does determine how much you get approved for, but if it's a little bit on the higher end of the spectrum, it also can impact your interest rate that you get. And so we always want our best chance at getting a really good interest rate. So keep that in mind also. What else can we tell them about our DTI? What questions have you heard often from?
So, like with DTI, I often just see, like, helping them to understand how does that play a role? Like, what does that mean? You know, I know you said it helps us understand what your affordability, but like, is there a percentage that you're looking for as far as like the mortgage?
Yeah.
What part? How?
Mm-hmm. Lenders typically would like to see DTIs 43% or below. You can go much higher than that, especially if you have an FHA loan, up to 57%. Even VA loans I've seen up to 70% DTI. Just because you can go that high doesn't mean you need to. And that's really my job as a loan professional, to help you understand your options and where you are in that game. And so that also brings up a very good point about affordability, because a lot of times you can get pre-approved based on how much you can afford. So your lender will give you to the max of what that DTI amount is going to be.
Okay.
So if you do go all the way up to that 56% DTI, yes, you can be approved for that amount, but that doesn't mean that you should be spending that much.
That is a comfortable place for you.
Yes, you have to be very mindful about what that monthly payment is, because like I said, your DTI calculates your monthly debts. There's other things like your utilities, your cell phone bill, and things like that that are not included in your DTI. And you have to make sure you can still afford that, and how much you want to put away in your nest egg and savings and other financial goals that you might have. So definitely don't recommend maxing out your DTI. So, you know, really being in tune with what your goals are is very important. You might also ask, so how can I improve it? My DTI is not that great. Okay, good. So what things can you do? So you can either increase your income or you can decrease your debt. Pretty straightforward. So increasing your income might be a little bit harder. Really, the most straightforward way is to ask for a raise, because you would have to show proof of long-standing income. So you couldn't necessarily get a side hustle and start contracting and get 1099 income. We wouldn't be able to count that. But if you work like a W-2 job and you've been working really hard, getting a raise will automatically help improve your debt to income ratio. If you did want to get a side hustle, start driving Uber, you wouldn't be able to use it directly, but you could use that income to pay down your debts drastically. And so when it comes to paying down your debt, you would want to focus on those debts that have high interest rates and to get those balances down as low as possible. That would be the method of attacking. So paying down your debt as low as you can. Another note also to think about is when you're calculating your DTI, it's taking the minimum payment. So, typically we like to pay more than our minimum payment on credit card bills and debt, but that's what we use to calculate. So that's just a note to also consider when you're thinking about your debt to income. But yeah, so the two main ways will be increasing that income and decreasing that debt. So figure out how you can eliminate, save money, and get that lower amount if you want higher pre-approval amounts.
Great. Anything else that you want to add as far as how they... Oh, I did have a question.
Yeah.
The question is, I know you were saying, like, if they just wanted to get, like, a side hustle really quick, you couldn't calculate that. Can you tell them, like, why you couldn't calculate that or use that for their income?
Yes. So, as we discussed, lenders, we look at 4 things. So we look at your credit, we look at your capacity, which we talked about with your DTI. We look at how much cash you have. So if you're able to close and be able to cover the amount of the loan, and also collateral. And a large piece of the collateral aspect is your employment. So we want to be able to prove that you have steady income. And so typically it's 2 years worth of proven income over time. So if you were to get a new side hustle, it would be hard to prove, if you just got it a month before, that's going to be an ongoing income coming in. So we wouldn't be able to count it necessarily as collateral, like guaranteed to say that you would be able to afford the loan or be able to pay the loan with that amount. So that's why we wouldn't be able to.
Can I use my child support?
Yeah.
Okay.
We will ask for everything has to be documented when you're working with a lender. So if you do have that court order decree showing that you will be receiving child support for a certain amount of time, yes, you can definitely use that income.
So if my parents or my friends are giving me money monthly and I'm doing things for them on the side, that can't count as income?
Yeah, that's one of those that would be a side conversation with your lender, but that's a very good question. There might be some slight situations where that could work, but I would definitely rule to another option.
So I know sometimes people say, well, I have all this income coming in.
Right.
How does it work with 2 people? Say I'm married. Should I...
Yeah, so that's a really good question, and it really does depend, and why we always say, talk with the lender, understand your options. There are a lot of cases where having both partners on the loan really does help out. A lot of time because the DTI, because both incomes really do help out to knock out some of that debt, to balance it out. Sometimes when you do have 2 borrowers, you have to go with the lower of both credit scores, so that impacts, that approval, that pre-approval as well.
Side note,
yeah,
know who you're marrying. Know your person's credit score, okay?
Yeah.
Know what you're getting into, and figure out if you can actually have a healthy financial future with this person prior to I do, not after.
Yes.
Because my husband found out after. He found out that I was not financially stable or healthy, but I got there.
Yes. Yeah, and we had the same situation too. So that's just part of it. But hey, we worked through it, right?
I'm good now.
Yes.
I'm a big advocate for financial wellness now.
Yes. So definitely, if you do have 2 borrowers, you want to keep in mind that you do have to use the lower of both credit scores, and sometimes it does.
Is it
make
the lower
sense.
middle?
The lower middle.
Okay.
Of both. And I've seen that it kind of can throw things off, and they just remove their person from the loan because it's not even worth going down that route. But it does make sense, like I said, sometimes to balance out, to give you more income so you can get pre-approved for more house, and still those same income requirements would be needed. So, 2 years worth of proven work history.
Okay, so what if I'm getting a down payment assistance? Does that help me with my DTI, not needing that much cash, or how does that work into there? Or doesn't matter?
Yeah, that really shouldn't matter. There are certain down payment assistance programs that do have extra overlays, if you will, as far as how much they want to see in your DTI. So for instance, the Georgia Dream, even though typically with the FHA loan you could go up to maybe a 56 in your DTI, Georgia Dream with certain credit scores wants to see you below 36, because they want to see that you really do you really are
You're trying to
in
manage
and you're not, you're managing your money somewhat responsibly. So with certain down payment assistance, you do have additional restrictions that impact your DTI. Very good point.
Cool. Do you have anything else?
That is all.
That's all I have. I think that's a great start for you guys to get to understand your DTI. If you have any more mortgage questions for Miss Candy, feel free to reach out to her. I will place her contact information below. You can reach out to me or her, and we will be glad to help you and get you moving in the process towards home ownership.
Absolutely.
Thank you.
Thank you. Y'all have a good one.
Right. Hey there, thank you so much for watching. If this video was educational for you or if you learned something, don't forget to like, share, and subscribe. See you next time.